I'm here in Chicago at the International Society for Technology and Education. I'm pleased to have Kerry Gallagher here with me, who's Assistant Principal for Teaching and Learning at St. John's Prep. Where is St. John's Prep?
It's in Danvers, Massachusetts.
Is it? Is it a boys, totally boys school?
It is. So it's an independent private school. It's all boys. We serve grades 6 through 12, and we have about 1,500 boys.
1,500 boys, wow. What a program.
It's a wonderful place, yes.
Well, you know, in what you're responsible for, it's really interesting. You know, you're bringing the digital world to the learning environment. And it just seems like having to kind of merge that and balance that curriculum with digital, you have quite a challenge ahead of you because you're beginning to change behaviors and cultures of teachers.
Yeah.
How's that pedagogy change?
So I'm really lucky that the leadership of my school understands that the future of education is not separating curriculum specialists from digital learning specialists, that in order for teachers to effectively drive student learning with really clear pedagogical practices, they have to have some expertise both in the curriculum that they teach, the content, but also some expertise in how they teach it using the digital tools that our students have access to. So we're a one-to-one iPad school, and certainly very few of the teachers who teach at our school experienced using iPads when they were in school. And so it, you know, they may have enjoyed school when they were students, but school is a different place. And so we're really pushing them to take risks in their classroom by blending that curriculum that they're an expert in with some digital learning practices that they may have never tried before. So it's a challenging job, but it's really exciting to see teachers have those small victories in their classroom when they try something new.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of prep that has to go into it from faculty. How do they really get together and kind of cross-fertilize those ideas and those lesson plans and come out with something that is measurable? How do you do that?
I think that's a challenge for any school, right?
Yeah, it really is.
Making sure that teachers have both the support that they need to take these risks and make these changes, but also the time that they need, both doing their own professional learning and also working with their colleagues to build those lessons. At our school, we have a pretty robust summer professional learning program, and the school offers the teachers a great deal of credits in order for taking them. So the motivation there is high. I just came off last week teaching a 5-day course called Tradition and Innovation, the sweet spot in education, trying to hook some of our more traditional teachers who are excellent educators to help them understand that by infusing innovation in the classroom, we're not asking them to leave behind those tried and true traditional practices. We're just looking at elevating those practices using some new ideas. So it was a great week.
So how does the teacher's role change then from the way they were taught to be a teacher to the way they have to teach today? How does that role change?
Yeah, so
are they comfortable with it?
Yeah, so some are and some aren't. I mean, it takes time to adjust. And you know, no one's suggesting that they should never lecture again. There is power in a lecture, especially when someone is a good lecturer or a good storyteller. It's just that we want students to be able to, when that lecture is over, really dive into the content and, you know, get elbows deep doing something with it, learning by creating or investigating or talking to an expert in the field, you know, really pushing themselves to take the content that they just learned and do something new with it. You know, learning and teaching doesn't happen in the classroom, it happens in the students' brains. So we want to teach our teachers to make sure that the right processes are happening in their students' brains so that that knowledge becomes real deep learning that they hold on to for a long time.
Well, before we sat down, we had a little discussion, and you had mentioned the term digital citizenship.
That's right.
How far does that go? Who does that empower? What's that all about? How do you measure it?
Sure. So digital citizenship is the concept that just like regular citizenship, where we have responsibilities and we are empowered with rights as people who are, you know, part of this nation, right? Because we have access to these powerful digital tools, we have the right to access information and create new products and share them with one another and communicate in ways we never could before. But we have a responsibility to do that in a way that's honest and positive, and that's making the digital world a better place. Just like we have a responsibility to communicate with people face to face in a way that helps nurture a relationship, not break it down.
Well, I would think with your being a lawyer, having those skills, bringing those skills to the discussion of digital citizenship,
Sure.
you probably get a point across pretty clearly as it deals with citizenship. What happens if they don't follow the standards?
Oh, and they make mistakes, right? I mean, all kids do. The adults make mistakes even. I think the important thing is to build the capacity of our teachers to recognize when those mistakes are happening, and rather than respond with, strict, severe punishment or taking the digital tools away, respond with some, see it as a learning opportunity. Really start asking the students questions. Why did you make that decision? Why did you post that there? Why did you choose to communicate in that way? Was that really helping you accomplish your goal? What were you feeling when you did that? And also working with someone who may be considered a victim of some poor digital citizenship. How did that make you feel? How can you communicate to people that it's not okay to make people feel that way? How can we take this unfortunate situation and turn it around so that you feel empowered to make sure that others don't ever experience this? So we have done some significant training for our teachers, but we also run lots of programming for parents to help them learn how to help their children. Parenting is a different world than it was when I was a kid, and it certainly is different for the parents of our students. I have my own young children, and I know that I'm not going to deny them access to digital tools now when they're 9 and 6, because by the time they're 13, they're going to want that full-blown smartphone. And if I haven't built the skills up in them slowly with, more controlled, smaller devices, then when they get that phone, they're not going to know how to use it well.